My name is Sylvan J. Rahman. This is Intentional Wealth. And did I just buy a failing business? Why would I do that? Yes, it's true. I bought a semi-profitable to failing business and I thought it was a good investment, so I did it. So now let's talk about why it's sometimes better to buy out a business than to start one from scratch. So this is filmed today, December 12th, 2019. Last year in May, I looked at getting into a franchising opportunity to open a coffee shop. The idea was to establish little coffee shops within existing stores. I was looking to open my store in a hardware store, and that didn't work out. We were looking to open at Labor Day weekend last year, and going in, my first $60,000 investment to open that first store, we still haven't opened. Bruh. So now, fast forward to this September, well, actually, even last year, there was a store that was opening up in a grocery store, and we actually wanted that location, my partners and I, but we weren't able to get it because it was spoken for. Earlier this year, September, we bought out that location for literally $20,000 out of pocket. Wow. So why sometimes buy an existing business? Because first, you have a lower acquisition cost, meaning the cost to buy the business compared to the cost to start up a business is much lower. We acquired this coffee shop in the grocery store for about $20,000 out of pocket with a $3,000 reserve, so total investment of $23,000. If we were about to start it ourselves, we would be looking at least minimum $60,000, if not more. The second is the investment cost to start up, right? So what we did is we actually settled on a price of just under $100,000 for this coffee shop, but the investment cost for us was $20,000 out of pocket. So the investment cost was a whole lot more different than if we had started, and that kind of ties in with the whole acquisition cost. Sometimes it's not even about the price that you get the business for, it's on how you make the terms. We actually did the terms on something called owner financing, and that is totally a different video that we will be posting soon and we'll get into. Now, how it kind of worked is we basically paid 23% down, and over the next couple years, we'll be making monthly payments to the owners. When you're starting up your own location, you really can't do that. So let's say I was buying out this coffee shop for $100,000 or starting my own coffee shop for $100,000. If I was to start my own coffee shop for $100,000, I basically need to pay $100,000 out of pocket before I can even open, because you have build-out costs, contracting costs, holding costs, a lot of costs that just go up front, and you're not making money from day one. With acquisition or buying out a existing business, you're looking at putting minimal money down and paying that $100,000 over time. Now that is owner financing, so I won't get any more into it. So the investment cost out of pocket is much lower. Another thing that you have when you're buying out a business is you have a solid customer base. Whether it's one customer or 100 customers, you're not starting at zero. So, you know, marketing is something you have to look at when you're turning around the business, which we will get into next week with my partners on how we turned it around. But you already have a customer base there, and now you're just building on top of that, attracting more customers. The next thing that you also have is you already have established relationships with vendors, and possibly the most important part is an established relationship with financial institutions, meaning your bank or lending institutions. Also, the length of time that the business has been operating does play into how financial institutions will view you. Another great thing about buying into a business is that you have experienced staff. You're not wasting time in the beginning, training staff, getting them to get up to par with the business. In fact, the experienced staff that comes in with buying the new business can actually help you a lot more than you think. And we'll get into that next week. So next week, stay tuned. We're gonna actually meet my partners that do the management and that have actually turned this coffee shop around. And just to let you know, we took over the coffee shop on September 23rd. On October was the first full month that we owned it. In October, we did the highest gross income.
Wow.
That the coffee shop had ever done in its history. Wow. In November, we actually raised that gross income by almost 30%.
Wow.
So stay tuned for next week when we talk about how did we turn this failing business around. If you've liked what you've seen here today, then please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we'll see you next week. Good.
That was it. Ow.
That was legit.